see me in the green velour, facial conquistador, then I order up a feast for four. If you see me in the leather, know it's reaching the floor. Linen flapping in the wind cause of the breezy shore, yeah. Spinal tap, you spitting gynecology rap. Eat your pussy with a plastic bag covering that. Brothers a clap, leave you hovering jack. If there's chicken in the building, no one's smothering that. It's tool I got, we'll loosen up.
Tonight we're going to take a look at a fragrance from the house of Aedes de Venustas. This one is called Copul de Azur or Copal Azur, and it is absolutely fucking fantastic. Before we take a look at the fragrance, let's take a look at the house. When I first got into niche perfumes, Aedes de Venustas was one of the first stores that I checked out. I was so overwhelmed by the selection of fragrances. They have Eau de Italy and Amouage and Frederic Malle, Penhaligon's, Lubon, and just the different companies, so many different houses. But when I was there, I actually wound up purchasing Fille en Aiguille by Serge Lutens, which I absolutely adore. But I just came away with such a great impression of the store. It really is magnificent. And basically they opened 20 years ago in the West Village and Christopher Street. Two friends started the shop, a gentleman named Robert Gerstner and one named Carl Burdell. And it was in 2012 when they actually did their first fragrance. Before that, they had a few collaborations, including one with L'Artisan Parfumé. They did a fragrance with them and a room spray. But in 2012, they released their first self-titled fragrance under their own line. And since then, they've added 3 more. I've smelled all 4 of them. They're all fantastic. The other one that is on my to-buy list is the original, simply called Aedes de Venustas, and that one is a Bertrand du Chaufour scent, as is this one. This one is their latest. It came out in 2014. As I said, Parfumé is the fantastic and famous Bertrand du Chaufour. And Bertrand du Chaufour's inspiration behind Copal Azur was the Mediterranean. Now, copal is a type of resin that's very similar to frankincense, but it's indigenous to Central and South America. And just in the same way that frankincense was burned by the ancient Egyptians and Greeks, copal was burned by the Mayans and Aztecs and rituals and sort of offerings to gods. It's still used in Mexico today. And one of the owners, Carl Burdell, was biking along the Yucatan, and he was really drawn to this scent. It made an impression on him, and he had the idea to commission a scent to smell like copal. But copal actually cannot be used as a fragrance ingredient. So what du Chaufour did is use 3 separate frankincense extractions to try and replicate the aroma of copal, and those 3 materials on their own make up 30% of the concentration of essential oils in this scent. Now, this one is available at Aedes de Venustas. Barney's also has this available along with the other Aedes de Venustas scents. I think, I could be wrong, those are the only 2 locations in New York City that sell these, and they come in 2 size options. You can purchase a very nice purse or travel spray, which comes with 3 separate 7.5 ml sprays for $195. And that comes with a very, very nice gold atomizer. If you get that, you can purchase 3 7.5 ml refills for $110. So it's a nice discount once you do buy the atomizer. Or you can get the 100 ml big boy, which you see in front of you here. Actually, I believe it's 100 ml. Yeah, 100 ml, which you see here. And this one is $245. I think that's the best deal here. It is Eau de Parfum concentration. I did purchase mine at Barney's. If you don't live in New York City, you can get this at the Aedes de Venustas website or the Barney's website. And notes on Copal Azur are ozone, salty notes, and incense at the top, cardamom, earthy, patchouli, and incense in the middle, and myrrh, amber, tonka, and incense in the base. So you can see the 3 different types of incenses used at all 3 levels of the fragrance. Presentation on this is absolutely gorgeous. You have this velvet box that says Aedes de Venustas, Eau de Parfum, Copal Azur, New York, established 1995, 100 ml, 3.4 fluid ounce. Batch code is stamped into the bottom. You have information on the bottom. And it's this very, very nice velvet material, sort of the same material used in the Dolce & Gabbana Peron box. And then the bottom does come out, and your fragrance simply sits in there, so when it is in the box, it's very, very secure. So very nice box. And the bottle, man, is something to behold. The lines on this are just so clean. You can see how they slope inward there, and then slope inward on the reverse. It's unbelievably heavy glass, and this is sort of the lid, and you can put it in any position and it will stay in that position. It's fixed, the hinge, and it has the crown of Aedes de Venustas, which is on the bottle, on the cap, and on the back. And to spray it, you simply flip it up, and you have a brilliant atomizer that shoots out an equal distribution of juice, and the top does have that hole in so that the fragrance so that it can be properly closed. It's very heavy. As I said, the geometry on it is just so clean, and it's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It's easily one of the most attractive bottles I've ever seen, and you do have a sticker on the bottom. So bravo on the presentation of Aedes de Venustas, of Copal Azur. And when I think of great incense fragrances, I think Amouage, Epic Man, Interlude Man. I think of the Comme des Garçons incense series. I think of Incense Extreme by Andy Tower. Incensed by Smell Bent. Incense Oud by Killian. Silver Factory by Bond Number 9. And I also think of this one now. This one took me for what at least a note that was starting to become stale to me and turned it on its head and made it fun again. It's just so different, and what I get out of this is just this very salty and ozonic opening that's very beach-like. I'll even go to say Cell Marin by Healy, just really oceanic in the authentic way. So you have this ozonic and salty opening supported heavily, and I do mean heavily, by just a gorgeous incense melange, not a heavy church incense. I'll tell you guys a perfect picture of this one. On the beach, not in the tropics, like the Hamptons or California, and it's just starting to get dark out. The sun is almost down, and about 30 to 40 feet from you, where you're chilling out, sitting in the sand, someone's burning really high quality, clean, not heavy incense. And the smell of the ocean air, the smell of your skin with the salt and mineral residue from the ocean water, all blend together to give you Copal Azur. The opening for me of this fragrance is just as good as fragrances get. And this is why the hobby is so fun for me. Almost 3 years into the game, I feel like I'm just experiencing this for the first time when I come across a fragrance like this. And that lasts for a good hour or so, that opening. And then that really changes as it starts to sweeten up quite a bit, and some tonka and amber come in play. And just as you might think this is going to really sweeten up and go in a wild place, I pick up some myrrh and earthy patchouli, which tempers the tonka, but the development of this scent is actually quite magical. It really shifts and sort of tells different stories. Performance on this fragrance is excellent. 10-hour scent on my skin. Only projects for about 4 to 6, and it's quite moderate projection, but a very nice sillage. There's a nice scent trail on this one, and anyone who comes close enough to you will get whiffs of this. But it's not going to be too aggressive. It's unisex juice. Anyone who likes incense can pull this one off. Time of year for me on this one is summer and spring. I bought this in the winter, but it didn't feel appropriate for cold air, which is bizarre for an incense scent. Ideally, this is summer and spring evening juice, and will be just perfect to wear at a beach party at night. Occasion wise, as I just said, gatherings, certainly dressed up, but you do need to be a little bit careful with incense fragrances. Not everyone loves incense, and you could definitely wear this at work with some very careful trigger use. What would I recommend to someone if they couldn't get this? Well, Cell Marin and some good incense, I guess. Seriously, I know of nothing like this. Niche houses have played around with doing more daring summer scents. Bond Number 9 used Oud and Shelter Island, which I own and love. Tom Ford did it with Costa Azura, but this one is just on a different plane of terms of ingenuity and being bold. So I would try one of those if you want a more daring aquatic along with Cell Marin, but this one is sort of a one of one. Someone who is trying to convince you to buy this would say it is a one of one, as I just said. Nothing else really like it. Stunning presentation on this fragrance. It's a great conversation piece. People are probably going to ask you, what it is you're wearing, and it's just another example of Bertrand Duchaufour's magic. If someone was trying to convince you not to purchase this, I think they'd say if you don't like incense, you're not going to like this fragrance. It's not a cheap fragrance. There are definitely incense fragrances out there that are cheaper. And it's weird because this is an incense you really isn't going to do best for you when it is cold out. So it's sort of a juxtaposition there. In case you can't tell, I love this scent, and it's a clean-cut 9 out of 10 for me. 2 reasons I can't give it a 10. One, the price, which is hefty, and it's hefty for a fragrance that isn't entirely versatile. And, my perfectly scored scents have to really work for me year-round in all occasions, unless it totally blows my mind like Interlude Man by Amouage. This one came pretty fucking close. All things considered, it's phenomenal juice. It really is. It's hard for me to recommend a better summer or spring scent to someone who doesn't want a stereotypical aquatic or fruity freshie. This one will do well for you, and it takes the wearer on such a fun journey. Aedes de Venustas makes some serious fragrances. They've been in this game for a while. They know what they're doing. So I can't wait to see what's next from them and who they collaborate with. And I really love men in these niche shops doing their own fragrances. I'd love to see Oswald and Twisted Lily follow suit, because the people who run these places know what real fragrance lovers want, and they know how to present them in a meaningful way, so they're really poised to make scents that matter in the community. So I hope you have enjoyed this review of Copal Azur. We'll be back next week with more videos. If you have any questions about this, feel free to email me.
Bowls, chilling in the cloisters. I love black girls boisterous. Shorties on the arm like a koi fish. On a Herbie White dude with the yellow fever. Yellow sneakers, see-through yellow beaver.
She calls out to the man on the street.